I wanted a challenge for playing games I've beaten plenty of times, so I decided why not look at the game that first got me into speedrunning. For this challenge, I decided to beat Mega Man X Dashless. And then I realized it was a speedrun category. And doing a challenge that's been done multiple times before started to not sound too appealing, so I decided to take a different twist on it and see if I could 100% the game Dashless, and then looked it up and didn't find anyone, so first. I hope. So, what we need for this challenge is to get 8 heart tanks, 8 weapons, 4 sub-tanks, 4 pieces of armor, and the Hadoken without dashing. I set up some ground rules when I did this for if I accidentally double tap dashed that I would just kill myself, which happens twice and it's unfortunate. But what you guys will be seeing is a very cut down version of the entire challenge, and I will in the description post the entire hour and a half of me doing it, so then you don't think I'm just skipping over parts. We start off with going to the intro stage, which is just playing the game normally because we don't even have dash boots yet. So it really doesn't matter. We just get grabbed by a guy in a suit and we're just like, man, Zero's so much cooler than us. And then I knew ahead of time that I wouldn't be able to get a decent chunk of the items until I got to the first Sigma stage because that gives me the Buster upgrade. So we're going to need a lot of revisits. So per the 100% speedrun, I went to Chill Penguin first, yeeted some dash boots from Dad that are basically useless and just a fashion statement at this point. Then I realized I couldn't get the heart tank, so going there first was kind of bleh, but we'll come back later anyway. Realizing that I'd want to move into more casual strats, I went to Flame Mammoth and then Storm Eagle. Later in the run, I would have to come back with the Buster upgrade anyway, so I figured I'd get these both out of the way really fast, as well as it would allow me to have the casual lifesavers Fire Wave and Storm Tornado, which kind of delete literally anything that isn't a boss, so it's kind of funny and stupid. Failing to realize that I should have gone to Boomer Coingers first to get his weapons so then I can actually get things in Spark Mandrills, I went to Spark Mandrills. In my head at the time, I had decided the thing I wanted to do was to get all of the boss's weapons as soon as possible, so then I could get the Buster upgrade from Sigma 1 and then just come back and do all the revisits. Alas, we punched through with Storm Tornado and didn't really come up with much of a problem. Then we got to Boomer Coanger. Ooh, 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 Boomer Coanger. This stage has a killer tune, however the boss was always challenging to me even though I speedran the game. If you don't know how to tangle with him, he kind of just steps on your feet too much. His weapon is extremely crucial to getting all the items in the game, meaning we even have to replay his stage to use his weapon to get his heart tank. The cool little tidbit about this game is if on the elevator, if you wall kick off the spikes, they don't hurt you. However, you get your iframes from if you'd normally get hit by something. Meaning you can just sit on the wall and just go dunk, 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 and it's like, hey, you want some iframes? You want some iframes? I then remembered that I should have gone to Spark Mandrill stage, so I went back and got the heart tank and the sub tank with the boomerang and then quickly headed out. Then we decided to head towards Sting Chameleon, and we just went straight to the boss since we couldn't grab anything until we had the ice sled. Armadillos is the stage we tackled next, where you can grab all of the items, actually. Except one, but like, you can grab all of the items. So, for the most of the stage, you get to ride on a cart, meaning you don't really have to move that much, so not dashing really isn't a problem at all. You're just kind of along for the ride, per se. And we just have to make sure we look at a cliff to get the nice view before we fight the boss and punch him right in the face. Then we launched ourselves towards Launch Octopus, where the only struggle with not having a dash is not knowing where to place yourself when you're fighting the one mini-boss that pushes you and there are spikes on the floor. But it wasn't all too much of an issue. We fought Launch Octopus and then moved on to the Sigma stages. After a brief cutscene and a climb that's slightly annoying without a dash, we find Zero captive. And who else has captured him other than Boba Fett? After Zero's valiant sacrifice in a Boba Fett fight, we get the Buster upgrade. We finish off the stage, died to not a tarantula from Animal Crossing, I swear, and then we caught the tarantula with a gun. Then began the collecting of items. So we had to get the heart tank from Chill Penguin, We had to get the sub-tank from Flame Mammoth. And we went back and got the heart tank from Boomer Kuwanger. Now we go back to Singing Chameleon, get the body armor and a tricky heart tank. This unique setup requires us to use the charged ice to make a ice sled, putting on the left enough of a breakable block so that we can gain enough speed to go far enough in the water that X can jump off the very edge and reach the ledge to get the heart tank. Heading back to Storm Eagle stage, we need to get an On the Horizons heart tank and the head armor. We once again need to use the ice sled to push off the edge of the tower so then we could get just enough momentum to then jump off at the last second and get the heart tank. And then later in the stage we have to go get the head armor where we need the ice sled to then allow us to jump all the way up so then we can get to the capsule where Dad will then give us a helmet and said we should have been doing it since we were outside the whole time. Finally, we have to go to Armored Armadillo stage to get the Hadoken. The Hadoken requires you to have every item in the game already, which will then prove we have all the items. And it requires you to look at the cliff 5 times while the game has been turned on once, which is a very unique thing that took a lot of people to find, but then we just see the cliff, we die, see the cliff, we die, see the cliff, we die. And since we already saw it once in the original run of it, we only have to do it 4 times. And then we see Dad and he's like, hey look, I'm a cosplayer now. And then he lets you gain his cosplay power without having to actually cosplay. Now that we have the Hadoken, we have the most broken item in the game because it lets us literally kill anything in one hit. Because if anything touches it, it just shatters, meaning all bosses die from it in one hit as well. Now that we have all the items in the Hadoken, we've pretty much done everything we set out to do, so now we just have to finish it off. So we have to go to Sigma 2 to kill Rangda Bangda, and then slide our way right into Sigma 3 to kill D-Rex. These being total pushovers and you don't actually need anything for dashing at all. And then finally, we have the showdown with Sigma. And if you speedrun this game, this doesn't take very long, and it's also doesn't take really much effort at all. And we have read it, done it. So what this means is that we've completely beat the game and collected all the items without dashing, except for the one time that it forces us to dash as soon as you get the dash boots. But I wanted to say thanks. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I really enjoyed making this. If you can think of any other challenge or something else you want me to do, feel free to drop it down below and I'll at least comment on it, unless there is 3 million comments, which there will not be. So yeah, and I hope you guys have a fantastic Snazolastic day.